Okay, this is Andrew. I'm back. This is IS 430 web programming. So, this is going to be the second part of your initial web page. I don't I don't really want you to think of the initial web page as part 1, part 2 done because really this is going to be an ongoing thing. I'd like you to update your web page throughout the course as you learn new things, try to make your initial web page a little better. But for the assignment and for the grade, I hope you've already looked at the first part. Some of you have completed the first part. Great job. So now we're going to move into part 2. Okay, so let me read this to you quickly. There are many programming languages and they're used often for different purposes. Sometimes people use them for the same purpose or not really even for a purpose the language was for. But PHP primarily is used for, let's say not used for, but primarily is excels at creating web pages from source files or databases, collecting data from users, uh, performing operations on that data, and then storing the files in databases or to JSON files as well. And then as the data goes from the database to the source file or the user and back and forth, they'll perform mathematical functions on the data. Okay, so in project 1, the reason we're using the JSON file is because this is a typical way to create web pages. And what I want you to do is use the JSON file I gave you about my favorite movies. And then once you get that up and loaded on your web page, then just go back and modify that JSON file, and you might have to modify your program a little to just custom adapt the program, modify your for loop a little to custom design it for you. So that's what you want to do, is modify the file to your favorites. Then you need to link to the projects that you will complete and submit for this course. Add photos, links, and more styles. And this project is going to be due on October 25th for a grade. So I mean, I have to make it due at some point, but like I said, I really would like to see you update it throughout the semester, especially as you learn how to do new things, and if you get new ideas. This is really, it's one of those projects where, there's two different, in my mind, in teaching, there's two different types of project. There's like the math problem where I tell you to do this math problem and you follow the steps and you get an answer, and everybody's supposed to get the same answer. And then there's like the English paper problem is, I can't tell you exactly what to do. You have to use your own creativity. And that's the same thing with this web page. It's that type of problem. I can give you basics and say basic requirements, say you have to have this, you have to have that, blah blah blah. But in the end, I can't tell you exactly what to do, or I'm designing the web page for you. So, what I'm doing here is getting you started, and I want you to make it better. Not only make it better, but I want you to provide your own creativity to it, because design of web page is just that, creativity. Okay, so anyway, let's take a look at this. So this is going to be your home page, and like I was saying, this is the basics. I'm not designing your web page for you, but I'm telling you what should be here. So this is your JSON file, right? And it's my favorite movies. Now you want to adapt this to your favorite. It doesn't even have to be movies anymore. It can be anything, like your favorite cars, your favorite motorcycles, your favorite programming languages, and change the JSON file and adapt your arrays as needed to read the JSON file in and give you a good description here. Now also you should have links to your projects, right? So this web page is project 1, so you want to link to project 2, project 3, you get the idea. Maybe put some pictures here. If you don't want to put a picture of yourself, put a picture of your dog or something, just so you're getting, it looks pretty. And then this can be a block about yourself and link to other web pages web pages that you find interesting. It can be related to PHP. It can be related to playing guitar. It can be related to cars you like. It can be your girlfriend's web page. Whatever you want. I don't care. Just to show that you know how to do these things, um, and that you're using some creativity to make a nice looking web page, which also means that, if you go back and look, always read. Always read. I'm sure all of you guys have taken a lot of classes at City U by now. So, I don't mean to insult you, but if you look right here, this is telling you what you have to do, right? All style elements must be in CSS. You can read through that. Um, View the rubric. This is how I have to grade it, right? I have to grade within these guidelines. So, if you're unable to complete the web page using PHP, HTML, blah, 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 then your grade is here. Read through all these, but it's clearly saying that you have to be using HTML, CSS. So, just because I didn't include a lot of CSS here doesn't mean you don't want to include it, because the rubrics is saying, again, I'm not designing the web page for you. I'm kind of giving you a guideline, getting you started. I do want you to create it using a JSON file. Why? Because that's one of the primary purposes of PHP is you read and write. You create web pages by reading and writing from files and databases. So I hope this gets you through project 1, get you a nice initial web page up, and like I said, I encourage you to update that web page throughout the course of the semester, although the grade cutoff will be the 25th, so October 25th. So whatever your initial web page looks like on October 25th, that's the grade you're going to get based on these rubrics that I just showed you. All right, thanks a lot. Bye.